more like, yes.
Yes, we are not live.
We are not live.
We are pre-recorded.
Yes, we are pretty stuck in time in this magical thing called a video recording.
Yes.
Who knew we could do these things as well? We don't have to be live.
No.
If I press this little button, we're live again.
But now we're not live. We are alive.
We are alive.
But we're not live.
We're very much alive because you're gonna go to a festival after
We're
this.
alive and well.
And I'm alive because I have this work day ahead of me still after this. So yes, we're very much alive.
Yes. Okay.
But what we wanted to do is to we look at this auto playing of recreation of the game that we've been playing. Ooh, bad beginning for
that's
the
exactly where we started.
That's exactly where we started. Nobody can see what's going on in the background here because
Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Did this camera now once again? Whoops! Start auto-focusing again.
I don't know. I hope not.
All right. What we're gonna do, just like we did last season.
Yes, we are going to recap
Season of what?
season of one more turn,
Oh, okay.
and one more turn, and one more turn.
And one more turn, and one more turn. Yeah, I don't know how many turns in total. Like 200 something.
Not that many times.
Not that many turns.
But what we're gonna do is we're going to do a recap.
Who are we?
Oh, who are we? We are Angus Doctor on the Mall.
Yes, I am.
And Aris Ymir Politopoulos.
Yes.
We are hosting the show. One more turn.
The show.
The show.
The show. Yeah, exactly.
One more turn.
This epic academic productions.
Yes. So basically what we're doing is we're playing through games of civilization.
Yeah.
And we're providing historical and archaeological and gameplay commentary.
And political commentary.
And political commentary. And
basically we're doing a lot of
in.
chatting.
Yeah.
While at the same time we are really researching this game.
Yes. Exactly.
Because that's what we're doing.
So
what we're doing is autoethnography.
Yes. We're doing autoethnography.
Oh. Which is, maybe we should just let the game auto-play so we could do an autoethnography.
That's too meta.
That's what we're doing right now.
But we're not talking about it. So, we did a season 1 which was 36 hours long, and then we did a recap.
Yes, exactly.
We played Aspergia, and now we got Civilization 6 Gathering Storm, so we did another season.
Yes.
Season 2.
Of about, I think, 20 hours long, or
more.
18, yeah, maybe more.
Yeah, something like that. A lot of hours. No, it's 8. It's a lot of hours.
How many did we get to?
I think we're episode 8. Oh, that's
16 hours.
That's fine. 16 hours.
Basically, we're like Game of Thrones. The longer the series is running, the shorter
the seasons.
Yes, exactly.
So we played.
We are going to end with an epic movie, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what we're going to be doing.
3 hours.
3 hours. That's our goal here.
And we played as Maori, and spoiler alert, we won.
Yeah.
So the game ended, so now we're getting to do a recap of the season.
We were doing season 2 because, first of all, we like Civilization, but also because there was a new expansion out.
Yeah. Gathering Storm.
And we needed to do a bit more research into Civilization anyway. So that's why.
Yeah. And also the game introduced a lot of concepts that we discussed last season that were missing.
So we wanted to see
it.
How they were taking our feedback into.
Exactly.
Alright.
Turns out they didn't.
Turns out they did, sort of did.
Yeah.
Didn't do. Yes, did. Alright, let's, you know what, let's kind of just get cracking.
Yeah, let's get cracking.
Because we're on a schedule here, Aris.
Yes, we're on schedule. So what we did, we played this time as Maori. And we decided that we would do no European civilizations.
No European civilizations.
We decided to play Maori because it's a new inclusion and it's the first time we have them.
Yes.
And they introduce a couple of new mechanics. Like the fact that they spawn in the middle of the sea.
And you know what? Right away, that's my first favorite moment.
Is it?
I mean, just in general, I think we've proclaimed our love to the digital.
By the way,
Maori.
we're gonna do top 5 favorite moments.
Top 5 favorite moments. So
and
top 3
failures.
Least favorite / bloopers / failures. Yeah. Failures of us or the game. Yeah. Is that like the Northern Lights up there? I didn't even see that the Northern Lights were in the game. That's pretty. It is, right? It's
like this.
Yes. This game, it never stops to amaze me.
Yeah.
But that said, so we both really love the Maori.
Yeah, that was also, it's in my list of top 5.
Alright, so but then I said, I was going to split this out a little bit. my first favorite moment is just the whole landing, which is such a different thing for the Civilization game. When you start on a boat in the middle of the ocean, we didn't really know where we were. We actually sailed a little bit to north, and we're like, there's ice there. To the south, and in this the contained setting of Civilization, it really made us, it really made me feel like we were these people setting out for a new land,
Yeah.
which is kind of a weird thing because no civilization was literally born on the sea.
No, you can't get one. Like you can.
It's a bit like Waterworldy, but
Yeah.
but at the same time, I think it really worked. But like from them, because in the end, it's the place where the Maori themselves, like the literal real world Maori conceptualized themselves coming from, is also this sort of island out there that is not really like super identified. So they just also sort of point to this origin across the sea, and then the whole thing with Coupe, the navigator.
Yeah,
I think that was really, really, really neat.
yeah.
But that would be my, and then especially because I first thought in the beginning when we were landing, this thing is gonna go wrong. We're just never gonna get there. But
I'm gonna talk about this later.
all right.
But for me, I have to say, after playing this entire game, that just the choice of picking Maori was one of my favorite choices. First of all, because it introduced all these new mechanics that we didn't see. Second, because I didn't know anything about the Maori, so hearing all of your beautiful insights.
Hearing, he says, hearing.
No, but
You mean later on, you
Yes.
listened to the stream and you
Exactly.
actually realized all the stuff that I was
Yes.
saying.
No,
Look
but-
to the first episode, he's like,
Only-
yeah. He's like,
What can I say? We have to play. No, but I really learned a lot about the Maori, and I really now I have a much stronger appreciation for the Maori. Not that I didn't have one, but I didn't know as much about them.
right, sure.
And I really felt connected with the
Yeah,
Maori playing
for
this
sure.
game. It was very immersive for some reason. Maybe it was the way we were playing as
I
well.
mean,
But
it was with Persia, with that, with me as well, of course. But you already had this connection
Yeah.
with Persia, so yeah, for sure.
But
I can see
it was
that.
really, I really enjoyed playing the Maori and learning all this stuff about the Maori. So this was definitely one of my.
Yeah, and I actually think that that's always one of the neat things when they put civilizations there that are not standard for civilization, the game, I mean, or cultures there that are not standard. It's always cool. So I actually, think, and I used to always play in the past, with civilizations that I knew, also because they were often objectively not quirky, so easy to play, better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think now I will definitely choose these roads less traveled than before. And for example, I want to play with Mali once. That seems like it's a sort of power play option. Hungary, I want to try out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, for sure, I like that, especially that we also incorporated a lot of the other non-European, non-standard.
Yeah, that in general was a good choice.
Yeah. All right. Okay. What's
And also, the Maori enabled us to win because they were. Turns out, it was a broken civilization.
it was a bit of a
So
from a game perspective.
from a
broken
gameplay
civilization.
perspective, it was kind of broken. So we won with cultural victory as we did before.
Yeah.
But probably only because the Marai was just giving so much culture.
Yeah.
Now it's.
I mean, we also
Cut
played
down.
to the strengths of
We
it.
played to the strength of it, but
And
it was
then-
so easy.
Yeah, it was way too easy. I do feel, however, that it was already easy early on.
Yeah. And that, going into the top 3 flops.
The top 3 flops. Oh, we're gonna flip flop.
Yeah,
between
we're
them.
gonna.
Okay,
flip.
sure.
I think one of my top 3 flops was the fact that we chose Prince.
Yeah.
I
okay.
thought, we thought, let's choose Prince, so we have some time to talk about this, and we're playing a civilization we don't know, we want to explore.
We have this moment of hesitancy when we're doing the first
Yeah.
stream, hey, should we play King? And
You can look at the
yeah.
first episode, and we're like, what should we
But
do?
we know some of the things, we don't really know them yet. Plus, we also are gonna play on quick speed.
Yeah, so we're like, let's just play. Turns out it was the wrong
It's
decision.
also one of those things that if you, it's weird because I think if you end up choosing too much of a difficult thing, we don't get to do what we want to do.
Yeah, so it was, but
By the way, this is also one of my flops.
what?
Choosing king and therefore basically a premature victory.
Prince, you mean?
Sorry, is it
Yeah.
prince and
Yeah,
therefore
yeah,
a premature victory?
So we agree on the flop.
particularly a pre-meltdown victory.
Yeah,
I mean,
which was the goal.
You did a lot of it, but
Yeah.
we check out the final episode and you will see us basically doing a victory lap and then trying to get the ice to melt, or not us, at least seeing how the
See
ice
how
can melt.
it happens.
And it was you had to really go very quickly for that to make that happen.
Yeah.
But it's a disappointment, but it's a disappointment entirely of our own making. At the same time, I would be even more disappointed if we would play
If
a
it
game
hadn't worked out.
and then we.
Yeah.
I mean, right
Just
now
to-
because we really wanted to do one of the you really want to focus on mechanics still and do a couple of discussions still, and then maybe next time when we play Civilization we play King. Or we just go play Deity and just
get demolished.
But next time we're gonna at least do something higher, and then if we lose, we lose.
Yeah.
But this will be a long while before we return to Civilization.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
We have a couple of games lined up. You'll see. Then back to top 5.
All right, my second favorite thing is the tiny thing, but for me it really adds a lot of difference. Landscape names in Civilization. I think I honestly forgot all of them right now, but when I was playing, I really felt like, and adding to that once again, but we already discussed it earlier, like the names, the indigenous settlement names. Or, by the way, they set in a horrible location.
I don't know what they're doing.
They're like, let's just kick back and just sit here on the Arctic
just lose.
Circle. But anyway, it's not us playing, so. But yeah, for sure, that's the landscape name, because they just all of a sudden instead of you having like this territory with little borders around it, all of a sudden this becomes your thing with that one mountain. Yeah. That one river or those two rivers or whatever. I think that's a really good addition. Mm-hmm. And if this was aside from that, I thought it was fun to look at all the toponyms of all those Maori place names. Then some of them
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun having you find every time how to pronounce all these names.
Pronounce them.
And then me mispronouncing them anyway. Like, Whanganui, it took me 5 episodes to learn how to pronounce it.
Yeah, for sure. And seeing some of the together with that, because I was there only yesterday. Yeah. In New Zealand, that's a little in-crowd joke, by the way. A value if you ever want to ask Megalithic when he was in Japan, you will understand.
Yeah.
And but anyway, I've been there, and so I knew that I actually saw some of the places that were put on the map there, and that just gives us a little bit extra content. Yeah. I want to try that with the Netherlands.
Oh, we should try.
See what sort of crazy names they put on the landscape.
For me, the thing is that for me the top 5 will mostly revolve around Maori, because I just love playing with the Maori. But the choice of landing next to the volcano is especially one of my favorite.
I have to say,
things.
We're right away in one of my 3s as well. It's related to that.
Oh yeah.
Because waiting for this volcanic eruption.
Yeah, I agree. But settling there and in the beginning having this whole discussion, this is gonna go horribly wrong, no, this is gonna be fine, it's gonna be fertile. No, that was a lot of fun and created a nice dynamic in the game.
What I liked as well is where we were planning to talk about volcanic eruption.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting for this thing to erupt, and then when it finally erupted, we were like, yeah, it erupted.
Yeah.
So that gave a bit of. These little disasters do give a little nice, especially next to a volcano, give a nice bit of tension to it.
Yeah. So for me, that was the call of getting there. I'm gonna take the credits for it.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I loved it in the end. I'm like, yes, we're next to this volcano, and as we progressed, these volcano eruptions became more and more irrelevant. But it still was nice having like the location itself.
It even stopped erupting, I think, after its last major eruption.
Yeah.
And even
we
then,
had a minor one.
We had a minor one in which it really didn't impact us very much at all.
So it was fun.
But what actually I liked it as well, aside from waiting for it, is that it was also once again on topic, because in fact, Auckland, one of the, not the capital of, but one of the major cities in New Zealand, is also right next to a volcano. So it was this like,
it was interesting.
And at least it gave us something to talk about when it came to the natural environment.
But for you, it's also a flop that we waited for it and it was just not happening.
No, it's not a flop. No. Actually, I like that sort of tension. Okay. Yeah.
So we're top 3 flops.
Top 3 flops. All right. Going back to. All right. So a personal flop.
Yeah.
Talking about the Zulu, about Shaka Zulu. It's sort of completely. Well, I got passcode.
You got passcode.
I got passcode.
We got a new expression for the stream.
I was like, I can do this without wiki. I know some stuff about this. Nope. We needed a wiki crutch for that. For sure.
Yeah.
So
I realized we have the wiki crutch still up there. We did 55. It's up here.
Yeah.
We did 55, and we're gonna talk about the thing next to it. This one in a little bit. In case you're wondering what these things are.
Yeah.
Wiki crutches was the thing that we were doing. That every time we had to wiki something, we would get a wiki crutch point.
Yeah.
So we kept count of how many times we wikied stuff.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a nice little ratio that we've got for 8 episodes, 9 episodes.
16 hours, 55. That's fine. That's fine.
Seeing, gives a nice limit to what we know about the world, for sure.
For me, a flop was, and it's game.
Oh wait, there was one other thing with the Zulu. Aside from me just like doing it completely wrong with Chaka and what time period he was actually in, it was also the fact that I even chose the Zulu to begin with because I already knew what was going to happen, and actually now seeing that it mostly ended up effing over or nicely a relatively pacifist run.
Yeah, but if we hadn't settled next to them, it wouldn't have happened.
No.
So it was just a sort of a chance.
It was a chance.
We settled next to them,
but I knew when I picked them, I knew they were gonna be. We were gonna be next to them. Somehow this always happens with civilization. And I actually kind of regret it now in the end because
we had to incorporate them.
That's a nice way of saying that we committed genocide.
Yeah, but they were the ones attacking.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and I actually commented on this in stream. Yeah, this is always the thing with the Zulu. They already work the same since Civilization 1, and I really think that they're up for a revamp.
Yeah, they need
I mean, at the same time, it's one of those things that you expect, just like
India
throwing nukes.
Yeah, but still, come on.
Yeah, at some point you want another type of Zulu. That sounds like a great dance or something, like another type of Zulu. Make it kind of.
For me, a flop was the whole diplomacy system.
Oh, good.
And I have a specific afterwards, but the entire diplomacy system was just so intrusive and irrelevant, and it was unclear. I mean, I had read how you get to the diplomacy win, and I knew that later on we would get the diplomacy points. But if you don't know about it, it's so unintuitive how you're gonna win exactly through that. Why is it there? How do you get the diplomacy points? Why all of a sudden your entire game stops, pauses, and then it throws you into this thing? Even with civilizations that you have never met, you have to make choices.
Exactly. We first time we got into, we haven't even met the I forgot who, but we
hadn't met the Japanese, I think, and whatever. Incas, I think, I'm not sure. But the thing, not Incas. Anyway, the thing is that for me, it's annoying that it makes you make choices, uninformed choices.
Yeah.
And in a strategy game, it's all about making informed decisions. And
So I mean, for me, it would be fine if it would be about uninformed choices because you would actually be dealing with an opponent that has other strategic choices in mind.
Yeah.
But really, that's not what we sort of saw in this whole system. It's sort of we could sort of say okay, they will vote for themselves, or who. It didn't feel like diplomacy.
But in many ways, so whenever you had to target a player, you would either if it was a negative, so you get to vote on decisions. These decisions are chosen. These questions are chosen at random. So this in itself is a bit problematic, but whatever, let's say it's fine. Then, when it's when it impacts a player negatively, you will always attack the stronger one.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of makes sense, but still. And when it's favorably, there's no incentive to vote for someone else. You always want to vote for yourself.
Yeah.
So it's not very much of a
And it's
decision.
not like the AI is. I mean, the AI is not strong enough that it will actually remember good things that happened to it. Yet.
No.
So it's not like, I voted for you, next time I'm going to vote for you. It's not this sort of arrangement that you can make and then you feel... It still feels like you're... While these colorful personalities with this historic background, you're still ending up with like a completely random stranger.
Yeah.
Like, okay, just like a random... Like a game theory, like a prisoner's dilemma where you don't know really who your opponent is.
No, exactly.
So a non-iterative one.
So, but... Because of all that, in the end, the very fact that it was just intruding into my gameplay, that was the most annoying thing.
Yeah,
it really just breaks the flow. It pauses the game. I don't know why. As a player, I don't see why this needs to happen.
Yeah.
I had all these important choices to make, and all of a sudden, you're breaking my flow just to make a meaningless decision.
Plus, the way that they've done it again is they've made diplomacy into a resource again.
Mm-hmm.
But these what are they called? Points. I even forgot now.
Diplomacy
points.
I think so.
right. Policy points, I don't even remember. Doesn't really matter. But they basically make a resource out of it that you're going to get from city-states mostly.
Yeah.
And it feels like...
Yeah, how do you get them? It doesn't, it's not like, you can trade diplomacy points. And that's the idea of I'm doing you a favor, I guess. How are you trading diplomacy points? Like, you can trade gold for goods, but how do I give you diplomatic favor?
Yeah.
How
And it's
do I
weird.
give, anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If it was like, I'm going to vote for this, so actually that means those votes that I'm going to give to that are going to be returned to me by you or whatever. Some smarter system there. I don't know. But ideally, not a resource system.
Yeah, but anyway, I didn't like the diplomacy.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
So, back to the top 5. You want me to go or you go?
I can go.
You go.
Alright, so I really like, but I think that's also probably in your top 5, maybe right now, or Island Colonization Challenge.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It was actually my
aside from
highest,
that,
but yeah.
with a honorable recommendation for Wiki Crutch system as well. We already discussed that.
Yeah.
I think that was fun and Wiki Crutch, but I think basically we were stuck in this.
So here, as you can see, poop.
We were stuck in this dead moment of the game where we knew we were going to be, victorious, and we basically had to make the game fun again. We had to find the fun.
Yeah, we had to find the fun, and before I think what were episode 3, 4, I had this idea that let's make a Maori exhibition play.
Yeah, exhibition play, but yeah, basically island colonization.
From what I see now, if you see the Maori in this play that. They made the shit. They do the same thing as we did.
Yeah.
And apparently the AI thinks this is a valid strategy. Turns out it was a valid strategy.
It is a very valid strategy.
So basically, what was the challenge? That we would settle on islands that were very small. So even if it was just one tile or two.
In the end,
if it was one tile, in the beginning we said 2 tiles or a little bit larger, and then we would. The challenge was that I had to try and make them go above 5 population, and I would get a point, and if it was less, then I would lose a point, or if the island didn't survive. In the end, we made 8 islands. Mm-hmm. We lost 1 because they rebelled, and we decided that this was our own Cuba. We would not interfere. We just let them be.
Lots of fun stuff happened for sure. Yeah. You know what I actually think? That what we've done could be like a game mode in Civilization.
Yeah.
Like a self-imposed, and that's actually to sort of not say that, we're brilliant, that's what we've done. But we found the fun in Civilization by sort of going outside of the game's general rules and imposing some on our own. I think that's the strength of a game like Civilization as well. Is that they're actually, in this case, when things with the game itself got boring, or we actually sort of, and you could see the flow in it as well. So if things got more interesting in the game again, you would see the focus change in our gameplay from island colonization to whatever the game was presenting as well. But I think it could be like a game mode in which you like an archipelago, everybody's playing Maori.
And
colonize as much islands as you can. No attacking each other. It's not about that. It's just try and get as much islands.
We can make it happen. And I in the end we did end up with.
I think we can make it happen. This will be the League of Legends. This will be the defense of the ancients of civilization. I think it will.
Let's make it happen.
Yes, we're gonna make it happen.
So, but in the end, it turned out so much fun indeed, and we made some brilliant small islands. We made.
Basically, we made Kayapoi.
Yeah, Kayapoi. But which one was the big one with the sea parks?
That was a great one. That was
one of the first that we did.
Whanganui, maybe?
No, Whanganui was in land.
Oh, yes, okay.
Anyway, one of them was 2 tiles.
Yeah.
And basically, I thought it was one of the first ones, so I thought I really need to make fisheries and stuff to make it survive. And then I just littered the place with fisheries. It was...
Fisheries is a special thing that you can build with one of the governors.
It was flipping ugly.
Yes.
But we made all these parks and zoos and stadiums. So it was also super successful.
Yeah, it was a city center with a zoo basically next to it, with an entertainment center.
Yeah.
And then just a lot of fisheries and fishing boats.
And then towards the end, they started planting also energy, like windmills and these new cities that you can plant in water.
Yeah.
So it was just so much fun.
It was really a lot of fun. Yeah, for sure.
And we even settled down to the South Pole.
All the way down. Yeah.
all the way down to the
I mean,
South Pole.
we settled on one tile tundra island.
But that was in the north. But this one worked as well.
Yeah.
So
sure.
so in the end,
Yeah. It was a lot
just
of
great.
fun. It was a lot of fun for sure.
So try it out. We advise it.
We're gonna be making this game mode. We're gonna start our own company.
Yeah.
Earn millions of it. Merchandising. I already see the whole plan ahead of me.
Yeah.
How we're gonna call this mode?
Maori exhibition play.
ME play.
Yeah.
Maori exhibition play. MEPs.
MEP.
MEPs.
So we have one more flop and two more top 5. So I say let's do one more from the top 5 now.
Alright, sure. You go ahead.
The other thing that I found extremely interesting from the self-imposed rules was the forest. So you said in the beginning, we remove no forests because they give us a lot of bonuses if we keep them, and we sort of incorporated this into our cultural sort of tradition to not remove any forest. So basically, I had to limit the construction of cities only on non-forest tiles, which in some cases it was very easy, in some cases it was very hard.
Yeah, it was.
Our capital, or in Whanganui, it was impossible. I couldn't find any tiles. So this was interesting for me for 2 reasons. One, because it was a fun gameplay, and it indeed sort of helped this immersion towards the Maori.
Yeah.
Like, it made me feel like we were playing Maori. And second, how gradually we started to shift our perspective and say, now we can plant forests, so we can remove a forest. And then we got into this terraforming idea, where every time we remove a forest, we have to plant a forest, and then we ended up one of the islands are just filled with forests, like 7 tiles of forest. I'm like, fine, I can remove from somewhere else, which is a weird, like.
It's so actually that ties in a little bit with I have a third point that I think is probably in terms of a flaw, but I think overarching that it ties a little bit in with actually what probably is more of a flaw than I was thinking of earlier, is that civilization really seduces you to do this as well.
Yeah.
So it really is about. I think that's probably my overarching sort of flaw, is that because this is not what the Maori would probably. I don't say that I know, but if we can sort of understand as outsiders what their idea of stewardship is about.
Yeah.
It's not about stewardship like, hey, take down this forest over here and just build it up over there.
No, exactly.
It is not about that at all. It's about, this thing over here, this landscape.
It needs to stay as it is.
It's not needs to stay as it is, but we need to take care of it.
Yeah.
And that means, we need to make sure that we approach it with the right respect and the right, because we can do stuff in there. We can, for example, like in Maori, one of the major, if I'm not mistaken, one of the major Maori companies on New Zealand is actually like an outdoors focused company owned by Maori. I don't know the family name, which also do, for example, things like river rafting and things like that, like jet rafting and like with. But in the end, they try to do it in such a way that it's not destructive for the actual thing around it.
Yeah.
So they limit it really to a set thing, and it really is about also giving you background on the ecology of the place. And that's what we ended up doing is we got also with this island colonization play, it really became about territoriality again.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it's not necessarily a flaw of the game, but
it gives you the perspective of the game.
It gives you the perspective of the game, and then it shows you how easy it is for us and for people playing this game to fall back into these into this and really have a great time or whatever.
Yeah.
But it never allows you to sort of leave these beaten paths.
No, exactly. But that's why I liked it in the sense that how in the beginning it became immersive, but then in the end we slipped back into this. And we didn't really think about it at that point, but it occurred to me afterwards. We were talking about climate change and how we need to climate preservation, and then we started just replanting forests elsewhere, which pretty much messes up the entire ecology.
Yeah.
So
in real life,
it will mess up the ecology. It doesn't do it in the game, so it doesn't occur to you. But if we are talking about climate change, this is not something we can do. Just start planting forests at random places.
Well, actually, it's when we're talking about climate change, of course, there's a lot of it is being made that we need to make sure that we replant forests. Something that you can even actively do, for example, if you fly, like CO2
Yeah,
negation. But we know, everybody that thinks about this knows that this is actually not any sort of mitigation that makes sense. I mean, like on a very sort of one-on-one level, yes, I fly, put up a couple of trees. You have to put up a freaking ton of trees. First of all, I honestly think that this whole thing is a bit of a scam. It's just like a tiny bit of negating your CO2 impact when you fly. But more than that, there is not enough space on Earth.
No.
At the moment, to plant all the trees that we would need to plant to capture all the carbon. Literally not even enough space in like natural areas. No, like even if we plant all the trees that we need to plant, there would not be enough space. So yeah, but we do end up thinking, as a society, there's this technological solution to climate change, which maybe there will be, just maybe,
but it's not there yet.
And plus, you're not really thinking about the underlying causes of climate change, which is really, this unbridled need for economic growth.
Yeah.
And that really is, of course, also sort of unbridled need for our urban growth. Yeah. Is what sort of led us to, okay, we really want to have this particular thing here.
Yeah. No, I found this very interesting.
And I think if you reflect on it right now, everything's good. Because there's a lesson to be learned, there's insights to be gained.
Yeah, but you have to reflect.
You have to actively reflect on this. Otherwise, civilization is going to act like it gave you the answer to, for example, something like climate change.
Yeah.
And that maybe is also, we're almost running out of flaws, but as a meta kind of thing, also because we didn't really pursue it much further, I wasn't very impressed by the impact of it.
We're back on the flaws,
on our game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I guess I didn't really have it as a flaw.
I had it as a positive, so we're sort of in between though. This thing with the forest, I thought it was, for me it was a high point because it gave me this ability to both play with it but also reflect on it like we are doing now.
Yeah, and I think sort of maybe then as a final positive point, before we go to, I think, our major flaw, which is the same for us both.
I have my major top 5 is like completely irrelevant to all this, so...
Your number 5?
The only thing I haven't discussed.
My number 5 is what I really enjoyed in this particular playthrough was that we had this playthrough which was diametrically opposite to the one that we had with Persia.
Oh yeah.
So we were trying not to wage too many wars. In fact, we were all only attacked. We never started any wars ourselves. We had like sewers the moment that we could get them.
Yeah.
And we had
I spent I don't know how much money on buying sewers for all the cities. Like,
we spent a lot of time on improving, those tiles that could be improved.
Yeah.
We really tried to take good care of our citizens. Like I think happiness was probably through the roof.
Yeah, not everywhere.
Interestingly enough, I think still we got a lower civilization score than our last game.
Way lower, I think.
Way lower.
But we won way faster as well, so that might be...
Maybe that's it. Yeah,
I
probably.
Think if we had gotten to the point that we got with Persia, we would probably get...
Yeah, maybe.
Not a higher, but equal. But we won quite fast.
Yeah, but regardless, I feel like... I almost feel like the way that we played it right now, Civilization didn't really know what to do with us to make the game interesting.
We were playing in an easy... We were playing in normal, so...
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, they threw us.
Anyway, but I actually did like it. I like that the game allows us to play like this, diametrically opposed, still within this confined framework that is Civilization, and we ended up still being very imperial in a different sense, territorial. But at least it did feel like it was very different.
Mm-hmm. It did. Yeah, it did.
It not like an entirely different game, but like you're playing a group of good characters compared to an evil character. Not that I want to say that Persia is evil, and
the way we played it was sort of more evilish.
More evilish, yeah. I mean, sort of on a historical scale, D&D alignments never really work out.
Yeah,
but more like that, like evil campaign versus good campaign in the same world.
Yeah.
To make it sort of that was probably one of my highlights as well.
So you're done with highlights, right?
I'm done with I only have one and probably the same major flaw.
But my last highlight is the rock bands.
I knew they would be in there.
I know they would be there. I mean, when I saw it in the announcement, I was like, lol. So here is the situation. Civilization Gathering Storm introduced this offensive cultural unit, as you described it, which is the rock band. But the thing is that you're buying a rock band not with gold, which is usually the case with rock bands, but with faith.
Yes.
So you're paying them with faith. I don't know how you can pay a rock band with faith.
I mean, I could see how you could be, but there's no cultural resource there.
No,
like, you
but
could pay maybe pay for them with cultural points.
yeah, something. Not pay them with faith. And in the end, they have no impact in faith. There is an upgrade that's called white metal or white rock, sort of Christian, and then you get some faith.
Is it not called Rally Rock or something like that?
No, it's called white.
Anyway, it doesn't matter, but yeah.
This thing exists, by the way. White metal exists. It's the Christian. It's the opposite.
Oh,
of black metal.
white metal exists.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought. I mean, I know that Rally Rock exists.
No, but white metal also is a thing.
White metal.
Anyway, but it was completely unintuitive what you had to do with it. It didn't make any sense. You just go to other civilization, give concerts at Wonders, which is the best thing that you can do, or at theater squares.
No, that's because we had that particular.
No.
Upgrade.
It still is the best thing that you can do. So
Sure, but we had this upgrade.
We also had the upgrade, but still you're getting lower scores on every other tile. So if you go on a theater tile or on a university tile, you get lower gigs, basically. And it had we had this Maori band. It made no sense. We were going to the Mausoleum gave concerts, and we had our very first band, which was great. Forest Cast was great. It was the best band ever.
Yeah. Literally the best rock band ever in existence.
And then we made 3 more, and they flopped
so hard. All of them, all of our
and
spin-offs.
we didn't know why. And it doesn't make. I think that I had a ton of fun with it, but in reality, it doesn't work. It's
the whole mechanic.
It's a fun mechanic, but it doesn't work. But it's fun. I like that it was there.
I often think that the best mechanics or the best things that happen in civilization games are the things that make the least amount of sense.
Yeah.
Often, at least, because they make you what's going on here? A couple of barbarians conquering the capital of an opponent, or whatever. Something weird and random happening is often a lot of fun.
True.
But in this case there was.
It made no sense.
But it made no sense. But it was fun. It was. I think actually there. It's not that Civilization needed more mechanics added to it.
No.
But I mean.
But what the hell?
If you have so many, why not have a rock band?
Just have a rock band.
Just have a rock band.
And the symbol of the rock band is the metal horns.
Yes.
This is so crazy. It was great.
It was great. Great stuff for sure. All right, less great stuff.
Okay, let's break the sad news.
Let's break the sad news. That I think that in all of its sort of historical mirroring, there are often things that we encounter in Civilization that end up sort of breaking the idea of all of this historical stuff is there as flavoring, because they just end up being too sort of weird and on the nose, quite literally. I think, by the way, that as a small aside, that the whole new political systems, the new government types, are that as well. I think that they're all of them are horrible choices for a future direction of government to go in.
Yeah, we discussed it in the previous episode.
But okay, whatever. Let's keep that aside. That in the end can still be, I think, whatever, your opinion, man.
Yeah.
But I think when it came to migration, which was something we had to vote on in the World Conference or World Congress, which basically meant that
Yeah, let's give it a little bit more context. So at one point, we went into the World Congress, which is the diploma system we discussed before.
The first thing to vote on was migration. This migration proposal.
It was called a migration treaty.
Yes. And whatever player you would vote on.
Yeah, you had 2 choices.
Yes, exactly. They would either get a faster city growth, but less loyal cities.
Yes.
Or they would get cities that are, slower growing, but are more resistant to loyalty pressure.
Yes. Or higher. Yeah.
They basically had more loyalty. They were generating more loyalty. And I think that is just such. To make it very clear once again, we already did this in the stream. This is just a xenophobic thing to put in there.
Yeah.
Because the idea that migrants, this is really what the game is about. Migrants, when they come into your civilization, your contained cultural unit, will always end up creating some form of strife.
Yeah.
I think it's something that you often hear sort of being extrapolated by the political right.
Yeah.
Often, I would say, in my opinion, as a cover-up for actual stuff that is going wrong with a civilization.
Yeah.
It's simply like, hey, blame it on the outside.
Yeah.
And that really is also what just like this rhetoric was just, especially given after the Christchurch shootings.
Mm-hmm.
It was a week after that we encountered this. It just
Yeah.
felt so wrong to see this in a game.
Yeah.
A game that says, we want to,
It's about celebrating.
It's about celebrating cultures.
Yeah.
It's about, according at least to the person who originally designed it, about not pushing a political philosophy.
Yeah.
This to me is just, I think the whole game is one big political philosophy. But this was just like, too much of a right-wing talking point, basically.
Yeah, very much so.
So yeah, that, and at the same time, I sort of understand it from one perspective. So if there are so many things that they're trying to cram into civilization.
Yeah.
Like all the not only like the civics and the technology and all the leaders traits, the culture traits, but also then all the great people.
Yeah.
All the of course the encyclopedias filled with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have all the what is it called? Not the thing you get from civics, like policies.
Yeah.
Which are all, there's a lot of weird policies in there as well.
There are a lot of weird policies we've discussed extensively in our first season.
Yeah. So in the end, I can sort of see how something like this is in the end going to break because there's just so much things going on.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I think this one should have been noticed. It should not be in there.
I mean, it is the thing is that it's such a minor thing, because it's just a random vote in a World Congress that you might or might not get in your game. So maybe you play 10 games and you never encounter it. I don't know how many things you can vote on exist. But maybe you play a lot of games and you never encounter it. And maybe you play one and you see it twice, like we did. We saw it twice, basically. Yeah. And it's very easy to overlook. Like, we almost overlooked it until you realized, like, oh my god, like, wait a minute. And then we discussed it. But it is
I think that what you say, like, there's so much happening. There's so much of these interesting series of decisions.
Yeah.
Series of interesting decisions going on. That it is easy to overlook it.
Yeah.
And I think actually that is of course both the strength and the danger, I think, of civilization.
No, exactly.
Is that we are so immersed and enticed by a game like Civilization that we often end up we end up the need to reflect on things that are happening in the game, on choices that you're actually making and that are connected. However sort of what if rabbit hole of history this particular game developed itself into, by their very sort of reference to real world concepts, are connected to real world histories, policies, ideologies, and in fact, through that, things that are happening to real world people in the past and in the present. So I think that it is unavoidable if you want to make a game about civilization. Yeah. But I would really love to see like this refocusing, even more conscious refocusing in Civilization. And whatever, if you want to say, okay, you know what, we don't care if we're not politically correct everywhere. But you don't even have to flag it for all I care, but just don't present it as this sort of, apolitical platform.
No. Because in the end, as we've discussed many times, it is, and also this applies to details as well. Like, whether you like it or not,
it mostly applies to
details,
for sure. And I would love it if through there would be some refocusing towards something else. That said, this is one of the best Civilizations ever. Maybe together with Civilization 5, we have to still have the jury's out on it. In a way, I don't really care, because this is definitely the most contemporary Civilization, both in many times. Yes. So, and there's been many things that went right, and that there are still many things that they could do better, both from political as well as from funds.
Yeah.
And as I said, it will probably be a while before we stream this, but I want to play a bit more Civilization.
maybe we do another season coming the new academic year,
Maybe it,
We'll
or
have to
we
think
will,
about this.
or we will play other versions of Civilization.
or that was also an idea.
Yeah.
But if you have anything specific that you want to see, let us know in the comments.
We do take requests.
Yes,
Hopefully that request doesn't take us 40 hours of our life.
hopefully.
But you never know.
But you never know. Or your life if you're watching the entire series. for that
Exactly.
matter.
Hey, and that
Um,
said, before we say goodbye to this season of One More Turn, everybody that has been watching, either through the YouTube, hello future people,
Or Twitch.
or Twitch, a massive thanks.
Yeah, thank you very much.
These things we play it because we do these things because we find them fun, but we find them extra fun if we get to talk to or otherwise interact with people. And a major shout out to John Allen Pasco, aka
Major shout
Sid Meier,
Also, no.
or,
yeah.
or our number one YouTube commenter. We always read your comments. We always think they're very thought through, and
Yes.
we clone yourself because we need more people like you watching
need-
our
yeah.
streams and videos.
And also thanks to anybody who subscribed on our Twitch channel.
For sure.
Of course.
And
Every
hey man,
month.
thank you for another fun
Thank
fun
you.
season.
Thank you. It was great.
Now get out, go do some heavy metal.
Time to do some heavy
go
metal.
listen to the Forest guitars.
Yes. Yes. I'm gonna make this happen.
All right,
See you all next time.
see y'all for the One More Turn in the future.